Hello and welcome back to Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I'm Brandy, your friendly, frugal, fancy. Obviously, I love sparkle like this necklace and my earrings. I just love anything sparkly, anything bright and shiny and shimmery. That's right up my alley. However, I also am very frugal. Actually, I consider myself a cheapskate, but most people say, "No, don't say that. It sounds negative." But I tend to look for a deal wherever I can. I hope you enjoy this channel. I hope you subscribe, you like the show. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Today we are talking about DIYs. And I am doing well, I can't say all. 99% of the things I'm using today in this DIY are from Dollar Tree. I do have some leftover items from other things that I've done in the past. I have little sunflowers that are left over from a baby shower that I did last summer. So those are just being reused, recycled, so I'm not wasting those. They've been in my craft room waiting for the next project, and the fall time is a beautiful time to bring out sunflowers and beautiful things like that. So those did not come from the Dollar Tree. In fact, those came from Amazon. I will try to link that below where I found those sunflowers. Um, let's get right into it. I'm gonna give you all the items that I'm using. I will list all the items below by category. I don't think I can really link them if they came from the Dollar Tree. A lot of times you can't find them on their website, but I will link them for you. I will at least list them for you so you know what that I used. Um, and I'll see you back at the end, and we'll talk about how everything came out. Thank you for joining me today. Let's DIY. All right, let's get started here. Jump right into these crafts. All right, so I start with this picture frame, and I missed the footage from the very first, but it's just a simple 5x7 frame, and I put some orange honeycomb scrapbook paper inside, in the glass, and then I'm just arranging some things to go on the outside. This large sunflower was from a previous, no, that was from Dollar Tree, and I take two of the flowers because they're kind of thin, and I just put them together, put the petals from one flower behind the other, and I just put them all together there to make one thicker, more full flower. I love how that came out, and that's an orange sunflower. And I take this leaf from the Dollar Tree. It was already painted with the burlap and the gingham, and so I put that in the center, and then I just add the flowers around. It's a very simple DIY, and because I took the stem out because I wanted to lay this flat, I just took the petal parts and glued them down individually. I do put on finger protectors. Very proud of myself because most of the time I forget and I end up with burns. Blisters are not fun, and I get them quite often on my fingers from the hot glue. I use my Ryobi, and it is a high temp glue gun, which does kind of get really hot. So I try to use the finger protectors. I do not always, and oftentimes I'll have the finger protectors on and then I'm using fingers without the finger protectors. Go figure that. I'm not sure why I do that, but it happens sometimes. So I still end up with some burns, but a lot less since I started using the finger protectors. Those came from the Dollar Tree. I do have some that came with my low temp glue gun, and so those are green. You'll probably see me wear both of those. Just depends on which ones I grab first. And then I'm adding some of the small yellow sunflowers. Again, those came from Amazon. I will try to link those below. I got those. I was doing a baby shower last summer, and I was doing the decorations for that. I save all the flowers, and then I'm using them in that, and this is how that little frame turned out. I think it turned out adorable. It came out really cute, and I love the way it looks in the end. Right here's the finished product of that, and you can see all just the bright oranges and yellows there. I love how that turned out. Now we're going to move on to this little box. It was one of the ones with the drawer in it from Dollar Tree. I took the drawer out, and I just used the little wooden box, and I'm painting that brown. I just paint over the top, the sides, the inside, because I want to leave it open and make a little vignette decoration with that. I do use a pick from the Dollar Tree. Most of the items come from the Dollar Tree. Here, I'm zooming in just a little bit closer so you can get a better look at what I'm doing. Sorry, I was zoomed out a little far. I was I did not have my camera aimed in the right direction, so it is vertical instead of horizontal, and so the picture gets really small, and I apologize for that. I do make sure now to keep my camera in the landscape mode. I just actually put it on its stand sideways, so I'm filming these with my phone, and at first I was doing vertical and I did not realize that it would be an issue. So I apologize for that, but check out some other of my videos and you will find that I do correct that later on in some other videos. But for this one, it's just a little small. If you're watching it on your computer, you will not notice a difference really, but if you're watching it on your phone, I do apologize for that. It does tend to get a little small in the picture. I'm just giving that a thorough coat on the inside, the outside. I appreciate you joining us today. I love doing crafts. I am a new YouTuber, but I've been doing crafts for a very long time. I decorate for different parties, events, weddings. I make decorations for those. I like to just create things for my own home, for other people's homes. I give a lot of crafts to my family, to my friends, things that could decorate their house. I make a lot of gifts with these. I just enjoy creating things. I have a vision in my head. Sometimes it turns out, sometimes it does not. But that's the fun of crafting and DIYing. You just have fun with it and you be creative in your own way, and you look at what other people do and you take inspiration, yes, but you come up with your own designs and your own ideas on how to do things and what to do. And I do watch a lot of YouTubers. A lot of you crafters are fabulous and you do some amazing things. I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of you, and I get a lot of different ideas on how to do things and what you can kind of create with one thing or another. So I have a lot of fun with it. I have these leaves that are like the muted orange. I did get those from Dollar Tree. I'm taking a couple of those. They come like two on a branch, like on a little stem, and then I have this pumpkin pick with the little, I don't know, red gourd sticking out of the top of that. And I'm just going to kind of use both of these and play with them and arrange them on the box and in the box, and just make a little, I just have some wire cutters there. Those are some small ones. They actually came in a guy's tool kit, and I got it on clearance. It was pretty cheap, but I don't care if it's a guy's tool or a girl's tool. It's a tool and I can use it. So I am always looking for a deal, and I found those on clearance. I believe they were like $1.50 for like a 7-pack of different wire cutters and crimps, and they're very handy to have. So I'm just pushing some of those leaves inside, trying to play with those a little bit, see how they turn out. I just kind of like how some of them are coming out and some of them are sticking in. I just like, so I go ahead and glue those down. I am not wearing my finger protector in this, but I am trying to use the little stick that came with my other low temp glue gun. It just helps push things in. I'm using my finger there. I do not believe I suffered any burns during this project. So like I said, I tend to burn myself quite often, and it is frustrating to me because when you have a blister on your finger, then you can't craft for a few days, and it also makes cooking and everything else a little bit difficult. So I try to remember to put on my finger protectors, and I do not always remember to do so. And again, even when I have them on, sometimes I'm using a finger that does not have that on. It's a little weird, but I'll stick the finger with the protector up in the air as I'm crafting. And here's the finished product of this little box. I love how it turned out. It was just a cute little piece you could sit anywhere. Cute little piece of decor. And I'm adding a couple more sunflowers. I thought I was done, and I came back and I'm like, no, I like these little sunflowers. The pick from Dollar Tree with the pumpkin and the little gourd up on top did have a big sunflower, so I'm taking some of these small little ones that I had left over again from that baby shower, and I'm just placing them around to add a little bit more. You can always add more, or you can take away. When you're creating, you can make it your own style, and I just love how this little box turned out. It was such a cute little decor piece. Here's the final project, a picture of that project. I'm sorry, I did not have a really good angle of that picture. Later on you'll get to see it again. Now I'm using these wreath forms that came, they were the 3D wreath forms, and I took one out of the one large one and one out of the small one, and I just zip tied those together. There's a little thing on top that came in the 3D wreath form that is like a little hole, so it was very easy to zip tie those together. And I cut off the zip tie. I am using some of the orangish red zip ties from Dollar Tree. They blend in pretty well. I'm using these flowers from Dollar Tree. Just a variety of flowers. Some of the sunflowers, of course. I have a whole bag full of those still, so they look beautiful in the fall. I love this fall ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start placing them on. I do use zip ties to secure everything onto this wire. Does not hold the hot glue does not really hold too well on these. So I start with the leaves, and I just kind of take some in little bunches, take a little zip tie and put it on there. And you will often see me with these little zip ties having to flip them around. I always seem to put them in backwards no matter what, and then they don't actually zip, so then I have to flip them, and it gets a little annoying. I can never figure out what exactly I'm doing wrong, and I think that's why I always do it wrong, because I think about it too much and then I do it the wrong way. Get a little frustrated with myself, and then I just flip it around, and I just arrange the flowers afterwards. It does kind of squish them to put those on, so I'm taking a few leaves at a time, and I'm on that bottom ring. I kind of wanted this to be like a double decker wreath put together. It turns out really pretty in the end, so I like how it turned out. And I just continue to add little leaves. I'm starting with the leaves at the bottom, and then I'm just zip tying those. Now these little plasticky ones did have like a little hole in the bottom, so it was very easy because to zip tie those, and I put those up on the top level of the wreath, and I really like how that turned out. It just turned out really cute. I do add some to the bottom as well, so I'm adding some of those in first. And again, I apologize if it's difficult to see exactly what I'm doing here. I do correct that later on. And here I'm just pulling these apart. And if you pull them off the stem, that leaves a little hole, which works perfectly because then the zip tie can go right through, wrap it around the wire frame there, and it just stays right on. So, and here I'm just counting, placing so that I can get them all even. And I started in the middle and worked my way out. I learned that a long time ago. If I want them to be even letters when I'm placing them on a board, I will start in the center and I will measure, and I will work my way from the center out. That way I can get an even amount on either side. Some people are very good at starting one side and getting it even all the way to the other. I am not that way. I start in the center and work my way out. And again, when I pulled these off the stem, it left a little hole right in the bottom of these little plastic floral fern type things that are orange. And it left a little circle. I was able to put the little zip tie right through, put it on the wreath form, and then pull it tight. And again, you will see me several times having to flip that zip tie back over. I trim off all of the edges of the zip ties. I do have a trash can sitting right there because otherwise my workstation, which is messy as you can see because things get piled up as I'm doing crafts, because I'm usually working on multiple ones all at the same time, so I have things sitting all right around my area there. And so if I don't have a trash can right there, it just gets even more piled up. I just keep adding the florals and the leaves until I'm happy with it. Tightening them up with the zip ties, make sure that they will stay in place where I want them to be. I actually love the modern two-tier, double-decker, whatever you want to call it, wreath here with the thin wire form. It just looks so sleek, so modern, and then you add all the colors, the festive fall decor, and it's gorgeous. These wire forms were actually green, and I did paint them a rose gold color. I did not do that on film, and sorry I didn't video that or mention it before, but I did put that on the wire form just to give it a little bit of a fall color, a fall neutral color. And these red, orange zip ties blend in really well, so I don't have to really worry about the color coming through. And I do cover them, so it's not a big deal. Even if they do show, they will not, you know, stand out. They're not black, they're not white. They just kind of blend in, and unless you're looking close, I don't think you can really see them. I did make this wreath for my grandmother. I made several decor pieces for her for the fall. She loves the fall. I do not live close to her right now, and so my aunt was in town, and I decided to finish everything up so I could send it back home with her, so I didn't have to find a box and ship it to her. But she has always loved fall, so I decided to make her some fall decor for her apartment. And I believe I had 8 of those little sprigs up at the top, or 6, and I'm just, like I said, I started in the middle, I worked my way all the way to the end, and that way I can get them even. I really like how this turned out. It was really cute. And here come the florals finally. I was working with all the leaves and the base part, and now I'm working on the top, the pretty part. I think it's all pretty, but the top final touch of the flowers just adds so much color. I love the fall colors. I know a lot of people like to decorate in the neutral, and I think that looks gorgeous. I love the bright fall colors. I am never ready to decorate for fall, and I tend to skip decorating for fall in my own home simply because I am addicted to summer and I love the summertime, and then I kind of go all out for Christmas. So when I'm making fall decor, it tends to be for other people because I really don't make it for myself. I do have a wreath on the front door, and I do decorate we have a little tiny front porch, so I decorate that for fall. But other than that, all the fall decorations I make, I give away because I am never ready to decorate for fall, because I'm never ready to admit that summer is over. I never want it to be over. I'm never quite ready for that cold weather to come. So I do use some hot glue. I'm trying to glue and zip tie to secure everything. These flowers do not have really long areas. I mean, some of them have a longer stem, but the ones at the very center, I can't leave a long stem because I don't want it to show. So I zip tie, and with the zip ties it makes it nice because you can kind of move and squish them together, pull them apart a little bit. You can kind of arrange, even after you've got it on there, you just kind of play with it a little bit and get it exactly where you want it to be. And it does slide up and down a little bit easier from a zip tie, especially on this wire frame. So in the comments below, leave me a little message. Tell me what you think of the designs. Once you see the final product, let me know what you think, and tell me what you would do different, what you enjoyed, what you suggest, and what you'd like to see in the future. I love to craft, like I said, and I love to do it on a budget. So if you have something, maybe you have a high-end item that you love and you've been looking at, but it's too pricey and you want to know how to make it for cheaper. If that's the case, send me a message, send me a picture of what you would like. I do have my email listed below, and you are welcome to contact me there. I would love to hear from you. but send me a picture of the high-end item and I will try to find a way to make it for you for cheaper and show you how to make it so that you can make it yourself and save some money but have that beautiful decor piece that maybe you've had your eye on. I use those orange, I guess they are, they're not really sunflowers when they're orange. I think that they are called something different. I can't think of the name of them right now, but they are gorgeous orange, and then I add in the yellow sunflowers. I think the variety in color, they contrast really well with each other, but it just screams fall to me. All of the colors. I do live in New England, so I do get a lot of the fall colors here. I grew up in southern Ohio, northern Kentucky area, right around the Cincinnati tri-state area, and I always loved the fall, loved the colors of the fall. I then moved and lived in Hawaii for 6 years, and I got so used to the summer and the warmth that it's not that I dislike fall now, I just do not like the cold. And I don't know, I'm never quite ready to give up summer, especially here in New England. It just feels like summer is so short. It starts later than where I grew up, and it ends sooner than where I grew up. So it seems like fall comes a lot sooner here, and spring lasts a lot longer. So summer just seems short to me, and I'm never quite ready to give it up. And then I go on that time area there where I put those orange ferns. Again, I don't know what those are called. I'm just going to call them orange ferns because that's what they remind me of. And I add a couple of the sunflowers there. And here's the finished part without the bow. I do add a bow to the top to finish this all off with that pretty Dollar Tree ribbon. They had some gorgeous Dollar Tree fall ribbon that I think turned out, it added such a nice touch. Their ribbon is really beautiful, and this is a wired ribbon, so it's really easy to make a bow. And it has lots of words on it, just the fall words and some little leaves. It's beautiful colors. And I am not a very good bow maker. They come out looking good, but I have no technique, no real rhyme or reason. I put them together as best I can. I am not very good at it, and I am going to keep trying, watching other people's videos and learning their methods. To me, it comes out looking good in the end. That's all that matters, but sometimes I fumble with getting it there. I am not a very good bow maker, in my opinion. As long as they come out looking good, though, they usually do. If not, I usually start over, but I just dovetail the ends. I believe that's what it's called. I've heard several people call it the dovetail. I just like the look of that, and I think it looks very, very pretty when it's finished. And then I can never get them even, so then I'm trying to just like even them up. Sometimes my dovetails, it's like one is way deep and one is way shallow. Again, I am not a professional bow maker. I make the double bows, I put them together, twist it together, and then I added the tails. They were not attached until I used a zip tie and attached them. I'm trying to fluff everything out to see how it actually looks. I believe it came out a little uneven. Again, I am not a professional bow maker, and I am not that good at it. I take a piece of the ribbon and I twist it around the middle, glue it all together. I could have used a zip tie, but I did not. I don't always use a zip tie. Sometimes I think it pulls them a little too tight, and this ribbon was kind of full, so I wanted to leave it full. I don't have a huge workspace right here, and with everything going on, it just looks a little crowded, so I'm sorry I don't have a good angle of me attaching this. I am using zip tie to attach it. I believe I looped it through that one little piece that I put on. And zip tie it to the wire. And then again, I'm just pulling and fluffing and arranging to see how it turns out. And then I have to cover up that center because it doesn't look right. So then I use one of those little sunflowers again. Why I keep so many pieces of scrap things around, all the little florals, the floral, even if they don't have stems still attached, I keep them because I will use them. And here is how this turned out. Let me show you the final. This is it laying down. I just love how it turned out. I love the double decker. Here it is on our door, which needs to be repainted, but don't mind that. Now my final thing, I used this piece of scrap wood I got out of the garage. It had some holes in it. It was just a scrap piece. It wasn't anything fancy. And I took some of those leaves that had the burlap and the gingham, and I painted them orange, red, and yellow, and I did a few of each of those. I had a metal pumpkin, and I painted that. And I take my sign. I did add Waverly wax to that, and I take my stencils. Cute way to store the stencils I found. I get the Dollar Tree photo albums, especially the large stencils. I can fit one in each sleeve, and it keeps them organized. And I can find them. I don't have to dig through a pile. I just flip through, and I keep them in my alphabetical order, so I can, if I know I'm looking for a letter that's at the end of the alphabet, I'll just flip to the end of the little photo album. And it does keep, I have 4 or 5 of those because I have different size letter stencils. And if you don't have a Cricut, this is an easy way. I don't have a Cricut. I do have a Silhouette Curio machine. But for something like this, I will just grab my stencil, and I used a pencil to trace those. I did not show that. Now I'm filling in with my paint marker. This is like a burgundy color. I don't know what brand it is. I usually buy Sharpie paint markers, but if something else is on sale, I will buy that. I've had this one for a few years, so this one it's like a burgundy, which just matches the fall color so pretty. And I am just filling in these letters that I traced a little while ago. I believe I spell out the word fall on this one. It just turned out really cute. I like how it turned out. Just take your time with this. You can do this with a Cricut or a Silhouette Curio machine. You can make the letters out of vinyl and you can put them on. I do that on a lot of different projects. It just depends on the look I'm going for. But I like to do my stenciling and fill in the letters. If you have paint markers, it's very easy. I see people do it with a paintbrush. I'm not sure how they can do that. My hand is not that steady. But I do have a ton of paint markers, and I love to use them. And there's the word fall. Nice large letters to fill that board. Waverly wax was underneath just to make it a dark brown. Stains the wood. The wood, like I said, has some holes and dents and looks a little beat up, but it was a scrap piece of wood. I wasn't going to let it go to waste. I take my black paint marker just because with the dark brown, the red does not stand out as much as I would like, and I just outline those letters. I'm just trying to make sure that's totally dry because I always end up with paint on the side of my hand and up my arm when I use paint markers because I never let it dry completely. I'm always a little impatient to continue on, so I will end up with it all over my hands. That's okay, it washes off. And I just take my time and outline the letters with the black. It makes it stand out. It just adds that final detail to where you can read the letters without really having to focus because the colors blended a little too well. And you can use white to outline, you can use black. You don't have to outline. I even have a gold. I was considering doing that with the gold. I chose the black just to make it stand out a little bit. I thought the gold might blend a little too well with the darker colors as well. So take my time. I do turn my board upside down. Sometimes I can get a better line in the other direction. Not sure how that works, but it works for me. Not sure why. I'm a little upside down and backwards sometimes, but that's okay. And as you can see, that really kind of made it stand out. It's kind of hard to see because I didn't have the light on there. So, all right, this metal pumpkin I had painted over. It came from Dollar Tree. I added some glitter with Mod Podge. I just Mod Podged over and added some of the gold glitter. Take my leaves that are the gingham still in the back. I did not bother to paint the back of those because I'm not really too worried about the back being seen. Some popsicle sticks. These came from the Dollar Tree. Just a large pack of the small popsicle sticks, and I just take those and attach everything to this sign. And it takes a lot of hot glue. It takes a lot of, you know, sticks. I'm just adding in a ton of sticks and a ton of glue to attach all of these, you know, the wood leaves and that metal pumpkin to my sign. I'm just trying to space everything out, see how it'll all fit. And I believe I'll put 3 pumpkins on each side. I did make my popsicle sticks. Some of them are a little taller, so some of the leaves stick up a little bit more. I'm putting my finger protectors on. As you can see, I am actually using those this time. Again, I forget to put them on quite often, and I often burn myself, and I regret it later. I'm just making sure I have one of each color on each side, because I did do 3 different colors and I'm having 3 on each side, so I wanted to separate the colors, spread them out, and make sure the orange weren't right in the middle because the pumpkin is orange. So you just have to arrange. And I'm adding the popsicle sticks to the back of the little leaves first, and then in the end I will add them all to the board. Again, this takes a lot of hot glue because, especially with the pumpkin is, it's a metal sign, so it like sticks out in the front. It's kind of like a 3D sign, and so I have to add quite a few in the back there to like make it stand up straight and be secure on the little wooden sign. This is a piece that I made for my grandmother. It went with the wreath, and actually everything in this video I believe went to my grandmother. She loves fall, she loves the colors, and I love making things for her, and she enjoys getting them. So I may not get to see her that often, but I can make things and send them to her. And there's my little, they look like little popsicles. I think when I was making these, I was like, if you had a little cookie cutter, you could make some like cookies on a stick, or I don't know. And here comes the pumpkin, because the pumpkin is a little bit, takes a little bit more, a little bit extra hot glue. I do use some painter's tape too to attach. I attach one because there's some ridges that go back further, and I want to kind of brace on that. And then so I'm taking the popsicle sticks and laying them over that way. And I know metal and hot glue do not always work really well. I have some strong hot glue sticks, so it does hold in the end, and I am pleasantly surprised at that. I put quite a bit of hot glue on those, and I put a stick down, and then I put another stick over the top of that to hold those sticks. I just kept adding until I felt it was secure enough. Just a little warning, when you're using a high temp glue gun on these metal signs, the front of the signs become very hot. And just a little FYI, you can get burnt from the front of the metal signs. And again, just going in with more hot glue. I told you it took a lot of hot glue to make me feel like this was gonna stay on that block of wood. Alright, now it is time to take the piece of wood and all of my pieces and attach them all. I'm just kind of measuring because I wanted to make sure that my pumpkin was in the center of my piece of wood, because that was the big piece, that was the piece I wanted in the center. So I just took out my ruler and measured. I don't always do that. A lot of times I will eyeball it. This time I just wanted to make sure. And here I go in with more popsicle sticks, more hot glue, more popsicle sticks, more hot glue, until I felt like it was secure. There was probably better ways to do this, but this worked out really well, and it was secure in the end, so that's... And some of mine lean a little forward, which is okay. I just add some extra popsicle sticks. I add the pieces in there, and I just glue everything down. Again, with me, what I do is I start in the center, work my way from the center all the way out. What I do on the one side, I usually try to mimic on the other, but a little bit of variety is okay. Like, some of them aren't the exact same height on each side, and that's okay, because I'm just gonna kind of play with it. The middle leaf, excuse me, I did put up a little bit higher so that it would stick up a little bit higher, give it a little bit of height and variety. And the last one, I kind of angled, so it was kind of angling off the side just a little bit. And then I do the same thing on the other side. This thing is all finished. Here are these 3 projects all together. The sign. I hope you enjoyed those DIYs, these beautiful fall decor that I made. Those were gifts from my grandmother. Please catch my next video for fall DIYs. I'm making some other, I'm going to use the same kind of wreath forms that I used for this one and make a totally different kind of wreath for someone else and make some decor to go with that for them as a gift. I don't typically use fall DIY inside my house, simply because we decorate very early for Christmas, so I don't... And to be honest with you, I love summer. I keep summer decorations up as long as possible, and then I switch over to Christmas. I just kind of skip fall altogether inside the house, but I do tend to decorate over the top maybe for Christmas, and I love to DIY for that as well. So you know, we'll have a lot of fun with that. But I love making fall decor. I love the look of it. I love how it is. So I just usually make it and give it away or sell it. A lot of times I'm just giving it away because I have a lot of friends and I like to do things for them sometimes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, join the frugal family that we have here, and learn many ways to save money on lots of different items, lots of different techniques that I use to save money in shopping and clothes shopping. I love clothes. I love jewelry, how I save money with jewelry. If you're interested in any of the jewelry that I wear, I will link. My sister actually has a business where she sells jewelry, and I will link her page below. You may not find exactly the same pieces, but you will find some beautiful pieces at an affordable price. So please check out her website, and if you like anything, just let her know that you found her through my channel, and she'll set you up. So that's all for today. I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you the next time. Bye.